it's so cool. What's this?
Chubby checker with cheese. There we go. All right. Chubby checker with cheese. Cool.
Check, check, check. 1, 2. Check. Check. 1, 2. Yeah, that's all right. It's coming through.
I already bring so much shit.
Right.
Dude. All right, I guess we'll start, dude. Yeah. Like I said before, like I don't really. My philosophy is just kind of see what happens, you know.
Just run with it.
Yeah, dude.
Just wing it.
I mean, I got a few ideas, some shit I want to ask you. But
Yeah, I'm cool with that. You know.
Cool, dude.
Yeah, I've done a lot of podcasts.
I appreciate your time, dude.
Of course. Thank you for having me. You know.
Dude. Yeah, dude. This is awesome. This is the biggest one yet. Fucking Brandon Martin's here.
Awesome.
Anyway, I guess I'll. It's so weird because nobody's there. But I guess I'll talk to you.
Yeah, you guys can. Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Welcome back to The Jam with Brock and Dan. Dan is not here because he's sucking on a chili dog.
Oh, my God.
Dude, you ever listen to that song, fucking Jack and Diane? You know that song?
No, I don't. No.
Fucking, what the hell's the guy's name?
I'm not
forget.
sure.
But anyway,
it sounds
it's a huge
funny as
song.
fuck, though.
But, dude, like, it's like, oh, yeah, life goes on.
Oh, my God.
You know that song?
Yeah.
Dude, he
I've
says
heard that
sucking
before.
on a chili dog in that song.
Oh, my
It fucking
God.
blew my mind.
That's so wild.
Sucking on a chili dog. It's
Yeah,
like, you
yeah.
know what?
That's
Anyway.
so funny. So, yeah, thank you for coming back to Skatopia.
Dude, I love it here.
Yeah.
I fucking love it here. Like,
Yeah, it's great.
I've been telling everybody, it's like chaotic camping.
Chaotic camping. That's
Yeah,
good.
I love camping, and it's just a little bit extra chaos to the camping. you
Right,
know?
right. Well, you know, one of my my mottos has always been, and I've taught this with my philosophy, is surf the chaos. You know, so learn to surf the chaos. There's always going to be chaos around you.
Yeah.
You know, you have chaos within you. You have emotional, intellectual chaos. And the best way to look at it as a metaphor is like the better skills you have as a surfer, you know, the more likely you can have a better experience with that, right? So it's just like skateboarding. You say skate this chaos, whatever you want to say, you know?
Yeah, dude.
So just rock with it.
Yeah, it's kind of. I guess another way to say it is go with the flow.
Yeah,
Kinda
I was going to
thing,
say,
yeah.
it's kind of that
This
old...
is just getting better at riding the flow.
yeah, absolutely. You know?
But yeah, dude. If you don't know by now, it's Mr. Brandon Martin's here with us today. We're rocking and rolling. It's Saturday at Skatopia, Bull Bash 2024. Is this the 29th one?
Yes, it's 29th.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
one when the first one
Yeah.
happened. Unless you guys skipped years. I don't know.
No, we had a double year, actually.
Really?
And they're correcting that with this one. So...
Oh.
so next year's the 30th, but this one was supposed to be called the 30th, and they like had some kind of mix-up with it. I'm not sure how it happened. It's just like you do it for so long, and
Yeah.
you know, it's like, oh shit, oh
There's
wait, that's not right, you know. And then
June. And I
yeah.
just know June, it's time to go. This is my third
June.
year here so far.
oh, cool.
My first year here was 2022. That's when you had the Reanimator art.
Yeah.
I thought that was the sickest
Dude,
shit in
that
the
was
world.
my idea.
Really?
Yeah, my friend Kate Baker, she's a wonderful artist, and she does flyers for us. And I was just like, oh, I love, you know, trauma films, and I love like all kinds of B flicks. And I was like, man, I need something with Reanimator.
Yes,
you know,
dude.
Reanimator's the shit. You know,
Dude, for real.
So it's so good.
Fuck, who's the guy who plays him?
Oh, I can't remember.
I forget.
Yeah, but it's so
Anyway,
good.
you ever met Lloyd Kaufman before?
No,
Dude,
no,
he
no.
is a cool guy.
Cool guy.
Yeah, Trauma.
Yeah, I know he is.
Dude, I met him once, and he told me. Well, he said this to my dad, and I thought it was like super profound, right? Because like my dad used to write for Horror Hound magazine.
What?
Yeah, isn't
That's
that
cool
weird?
as fuck.
He was a staff writer for
Yeah,
him.
that's awesome.
So like I grew up with horror movies and shit
Yeah.
like that. And he was at a convention getting like a poster signed or something like
Right,
that.
right.
And he was talking to Lloyd Kaufman. He's like, yeah, I'm a filmmaker now. Because, like, people was talking shit about him making, you know, reviewing movies. He's like,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not a filmmaker or whatever. So he's like, all right, I'll make a film then. So he made, like, a 10-minute movie.
Oh,
You
cool.
know, real fucking shitty. It was awesome, though. And he was telling Lloyd Kaufman about it. He's like, no, don't sell yourself short. He's like, did you have an idea in your head? He's like, yeah. He's like, did you turn it into a film?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's like, you can walk into a room with James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, and you're among your peers.
Right, right.
I was like, damn, that's fucking profound.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
I
a
would
good way
agree
to
with
look
that.
at it, though, man.
Yeah,
like, that
it
stuck
really
with
is.
me hearing that. Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot to manifest an idea into like a media form, you know?
Really?
I work with media all the time, and it's pretty difficult, you know? You have a
Yeah.
thought, and I mean, film is so intricate, you know? You got to think about everything from aesthetics to your story, your characters, to personalities, your scenes, you know?
Yeah.
Your camera views. There's all the cinematography that goes into it.
So much that goes
Yeah,
into it.
and it's an expression. I think of film as one of the highest forms of language that we have, really.
Yeah.
You know, because it incorporates almost all the senses.
Yep.
You know, and I'm sure it's going to in the future.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
for
so
real.
It'll be full on Matrix gear then.
You're going to be
you know?
smelling the scenes.
Yeah, you're gonna be smelling that shit. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Do you think
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
headed for a dystopian future?
I
Or do you
mean,
think
we're.
it's bright?
I mean, if we don't change our mindset and change our behaviors, then yes, full-blown tyranny and dystopia
Yeah.
for sure. How that will look, I don't know. Maybe more cyberpunkish, you
Yeah.
know, transhumanistic, you know.
Dude, I see that coming.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big issue that we all face. Not that I'm against transhumanism, because I like technology, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And if there's a person who can be cured of their blindness or, you know, any kind of handicap because of technology, go for it,
Yeah.
right? But also I know technology can be a very big crutch and vice for all of us. And
Double-edged sword.
yeah, it's a double-edged sword. It's just a tool, you know. Use it the way that
Yeah.
it should be used, or you can use it the way that it shouldn't. You can
Exactly.
abuse
Like
it,
a lot
you
of
know?
things in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
You said tyranny. I thought that was,
Yeah.
you know, I've been like in the political sphere, like politically aware
Right.
since I was 18 because I got arrested for underage drinking.
Right, right.
And then I was like, the judge, he's like, 6 months in jail. I was like,
Oh.
what?
Right?
And then that's when I woke up. I was like, wait a minute, this ain't cool.
Yeah, that's
like
not
I didn't
cool at
hurt
all.
anyone.
Yeah, yeah. No victim. Who's the
Yeah,
victim there?
Exactly.
Yeah. Me? I'm the victim?
Yeah.
Wait, you victimized me. Wait a minute. I'm confused.
Exactly.
I didn't hurt anybody. What
I
the
hurt
fuck?
myself somehow, so
Yeah.
you hurt me more?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But dude, that sent me down this whole rabbit hole, and I've been hearing for years, like, oh, there's going to be dictatorships and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, you know, that could happen.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like the sentiment in the country is, like, almost people are asking for it now. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it feels like people are like, yeah, let's have a dictator. That sounds great.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't it seem like that to you?
Oh, yeah. Well, we've seen it throughout history. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, you can just look at Nazi Germany for that,
Exactly.
right? I mean, you have the whole population conditioned for fascism.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, how do you get so many people on board with such a brutal and immoral ideology?
Mhm.
You know, well, social engineering, social conditioning,
Yeah.
mind control, you know, emotional manipulation, especially emotional manipulation.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's
that's the
where they
big
get you.
thing. Yeah, that's a huge thing.
And, like, we don't even realize how fucking sophisticated it is.
No,
Like-
no, not at all.
And, like, there's so many people that are actively participating in it that probably don't even know that they're doing it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, the
Yeah, yeah.
propaganda and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, people yell at, like, the corporate news and stuff like that. Like, oh, they know what they're doing. I'm like, I don't know if the anchor knows what she's doing. You know, like, maybe
No,
she doesn't.
No, they're probably not. Most of them are probably not consciously
Yeah.
and maliciously doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's just,
They
hey,
think
this
they're
is
right.
how I make money, and this is also like my view of the world. This is my worldview, you know. But mainly, it's money driven, right?
Yeah, oh,
I have
yeah.
a good job, and then over time, they probably start to either already had that worldview, or they start to like adopt that worldview
Yeah.
over time, right? So because we know that the utility of everything is like driven by monetary incentives,
Yep.
right? So that's how you get most people to do things that they
Yep.
would never do before.
Just be like, I'll
You
give you
know?
$100 to shove that firecracker up your ass.
Yeah.
That might actually happen here. I think I might have saw that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I saw a guy yesterday with a firework stuck in his butt crack. So
Dude,
Close
it
enough.
seems to be like at least once a year I'll see
Yeah.
it. Seems like.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's all in good fun. But hey,
Oh,
no
yeah.
victim, no crime. No, he
Yeah,
only
yeah,
hurt
it's
himself. He didn't hurt
consensual.
anybody
Yeah,
else.
I don't care. Doesn't
But-
bother me. Do it up, you
See,
know?
I'm the king of derailing. Do you see that?
Yeah, it was good. It was
But-
good. I liked it.
Dude, I just like, I'm on the fence. Like, I don't know. Like, where are we going to go? And I feel like you're more in tune end with maybe the philosophical side of things.
Yeah, I would. My whole philosophy is teaching natural law principles, which is
Yes.
based off of a theory of objective morality, meaning that the whole idea is that anything that violates another sentient being, destroys their liberty, right? And that liberty should never be destroyed. It's an inherent property of each sovereign, each autonomous individual, right? So any action that erodes or, disrupts your ability to be free is obviously going to collectively build up and create what we could call de facto slavery. So maybe it's not like whip and chains, cattle slavery, like it used to be.
Yeah.
But over time, what is slavery, you might ask the question of, right? Well, there's many different forms of slavery, but really what it is the inability to make free will decisions which do not harm other people on your own, right? So that's the main thing. Like, you can make whatever choice you want, but as soon as you start interfering with another autonomous being, right, and I make a choice that harms you and disrupts your liberty, then I've removed the liberty of you, your safety. Let's say I steal from you, right? Like I steal your microphone, okay? Now I've taken your liberty, your freedom to use your gear, which you rightfully acquired and you rightfully possess and maintain, right? And so when we do that over time, it just naturally creates slavery.
Yep.
It's a de facto state of slavery.
Keep compounding.
So, yeah, it just keeps compounding and multiplying. So natural law is that as morality increases, meaning that as our actions increase, which do not violate each other, there is more freedom between each other, right? So that's the whole thing. We want more freedom because if I want freedom, then I have to respect your freedom because we coexist here,
Yeah.
And if the negative effects come down upon me eventually, right? So let's say I'm a thief, I'm a psychopath, maybe I'm a narcissist, Machiavellianist, whatever it might be, right? Something that obviously is manipulatory in nature, and I constantly keep doing harm in the community that I'm in, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, other people who adopt that same ideology will do it to me too.
Yep.
So it's ultimately self-destructive as well,
Because what goes around comes
Yeah.
around.
and a lot of people call it karma
Yep.
as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So
karmic law. I remember the pamphlet you gave me.
Yeah,
Last year, or the year before.
Yeah, I think that was the year before.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe last year. I had a bunch. No, it was
I
last year.
remember you with the sign.
No, yeah, it was last year. I had a bunch of those.
That's the moment I knew I was in the right place. I was
yeah.
I'm in the right place.
Yeah. So a lot of people call it karma, the golden rule. The
Yep.
Christians call it the golden rule. There's many different versions of it. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit. It's just the results that I care about.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, hey, less violence onto each other, and that's better. So a lot of people might think of it as a utopian point of view. I don't believe in utopia. I know that there's always going to be violence that takes place at some level, but as we increase in intelligence and consciousness and awareness and self-discipline, right? Self-mastery is a good word for it. We can prevent that to a certain extent, right? We can mitigate that with our own choices, So like, you seem like a really good guy as far as
Thank
when
you.
I've met you, you've always gave off good energy.
Awesome.
You've never caused trouble here, nothing like that.
I always
so
pick up
that's
my trash too.
Right, yeah, you clean up after yourself. That's good. Yeah, that's great. So the whole thing is that creates a suitable environment for us to coexist with each other, and that's what I promote, right? That's the basis of it. That's like the foundation,
You mentioned morality.
Yeah.
I've noticed, I don't know if you noticed, but it seems like there's a resurgence in Christianity lately.
Oh yeah, there totally is. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think
Good,
it's Christian nationalism. I think it has two folds. As a philosopher myself, I think what religion, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, but what religion has done for people, it's a substitute for finding meaning and a purpose or a model for people to work from, right? So what religion kind of does for people is it gives them a framework for them to coexist within a group, a social group, so that they can try to do whatever they do, even if their ideas are erroneous and dogmatic, right? At some level, a lot of them are, and some of them are not. The golden rule is a good example of not one, right? So when it comes to that, I think that Christianity can be a double-edged sword, just like any religion can be. There's a lot of positive stuff there, a lot of negative stuff, I think literizing religions is one of the most damaging thing that we can do. So, like, for example, having a bloodline that comes from a deity, right? This is a real big issue because this bloodline, like the Da Vinci Code, can claim authority over other people and enslave them, right?
Yeah.
Based upon something that cannot be empirically proven, but if they can say, hey, I am a descendant of Jesus, which is the Son of God, meaning that I have more authority than you, now I have a superiority complex going on, and you have to obey my creeds and arbitration upon the society that I am in rulership over. It's the same thing. It's called a divine right of kings is what they called it.
Never heard of this. See, that's why I wanted to talk to this guy.
Yeah, so the divine right of kings is an interesting concept. It's the idea that the monarch got his power from God. So God gave him the right to rule.
Yeah, just like the Egyptian pharaohs and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So like the canonization of Christianity in during the Constantine period in the Roman Empire, right? They put in this text. It's I think it's 13. Roman 13 is what it is, and it's the idea that man has the right to enslave other men, right? And they get that power from God. So they put that literally in the text form of Christianity. But that's not the original text. They altered it, obviously, but you can look it up. It's Romans 13 is what it is. It's pretty interesting.
See, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think when it comes to the Christianity shit, I feel like there's so many denominations. It's hard to keep track of what's
totally
going on. Who believes what?
It totally is. It's so divisive, It definitely is. They're all divided, It's kind of interesting. But as an anarchist myself, I would say that I don't adhere to any creed, whether that's state or religious, I do say that with religion, there's a lot of esoteric knowledge there that's crucial.
I've picked up on that. Like, there's some valuable shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I say don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? But don't get locked into a belief system, right? Take what works and it's actually correct and true, and then use it,
Exactly.
and learn from it. So,
dude, I could talk to this guy all day. I think you're here for next 24 hours, right? Right here?
Yeah,
okay,
all day.
Cool. All right, strap in, everybody.
I'm here all day.
Dude, so I'm sure you said you've been on podcasts and stuff before.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people ask about, what's it like growing up in Skatopia? Like, I understand, like, it's your dad's vision, right?
Yeah.
But what's it to you?
What's it to me? It was so weird when I was growing up. I always struggled with the acknowledgement that I lived in such a separate way than other people. It was really hard to relate with kids my age. I always related with older people and with people who are of higher, intellect and intelligence or consciousness or experience, mostly the hippies, the punks, the metalheads, the skaters, stuff like that. People on the outskirts of the social norms, pretty much. So it was really hard acclimating whenever I did go to public school in temporary times because I was mostly homeschooled. So that was a difficult thing. But other than that, it was a blessing, It absolutely was a blessing because it taught me a lot of things about what freedom actually means, not only to me, but what's more important is to all of us, like how we can coexist with a framework of freedom. And it was insane. I mean, growing up here was insane. You see what goes on.
I know.
I used to run around here with my friends. I didn't drink, I didn't party, and we just had to find our own way of expressing ourselves and our rebellious nature, right? So one game that we would play, we would do Black Ops, and we would all dress up as, like soldiers or mercenaries, get paintball guns and walkie-talkies, and we go out, and especially at night, and we tag the drunkest, most fucked up person that we could find. And just be like coordinated, military ops just coming in and tagging people like, oh, he's walking up the hill right now. See the guy, he has the fucking tie-dye shirt, take him out, and it got pretty ridiculous with that.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's good old wholesome fun.
Yeah, it was great. You know,
What other
it was
kids
totally
got
great.
to do that?
I remember one time, and I really felt bad about this one. We used to have a lot of potato cannons here.
Oh,
I don't know
shit.
whatever happened to potato
Yeah, I
cannons.
know. They kind of
Yeah,
fell
nobody.
off.
Yeah, it just kind of faded out, right?
Dude, I want to
Where's the
build
potato
one.
cannon?
I'm an adult
Right?
now. I can build one now.
Yeah, you
I
can't
should
build one. So they had a potato cannon in the second parking lot, and they were just launching, and people camped on the other side over there, and they were like, "Hey, Brandon, come here, shoot the potato." And there was a huge crowd of people, and I just launched it, and it freaking nailed this guy in his head
Oh,
and
shit.
laid him out, you know, just flatlined him. And I felt so bad. But he got up. He was okay, you know. And then after that, it started this whole war between the two
Oh, the two
things.
tribes.
So they had an egg launcher, like the
Oh, shit.
slingshots that you have 3 people who hold it, and they were launching eggs back at the potato guy. So it was potatoes and eggs going back and
Dude, all
forth.
you need some spam.
So yeah, so it's interesting, but there's politics to that, right?
Yeah.
It's like some just random accident can just cause this
Yep.
division amongst these people. But the weird thing about it was they were all doing it in good fun,
Yeah.
and everybody was cool with it. It was like, oh yeah, we know what we're doing now, you know. So it was a good lesson, you know. There's a
Man.
lesson in that.
That
So-
sounds like so much fun.
Right. So I would say to summarize the answer of your question, living here was an amazing, beautiful experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else because not only the lessons I've learned, but the people that I've met, such beautiful people.
Yes.
You know, amazing
Yes.
people, like-minded individuals. They come together. We coexist in this kind of chaotic, weird environment where most people would be like, I'm going to die, you know, and it works, you know, it works. It's
Yeah.
kind of like order out of chaos in
Uh-huh.
a way, you know, but it's also just the beauty of art because this is it's a tapestry
Yeah.
for our minds and we make it what we will, right?
Yeah, this place, like, this is my 3rd year here. I told you that. But yeah, like at first I was, a little shocked. Like, what did I get myself into?
Right.
But like I said, I saw you drive by with the natural law sign. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I think I'm in the right place.
Right.
And like over the years, I just realized how special this place is.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
absolutely.
even think. I think it transcends the skateboard ramps, all that. Like,
Oh, yeah, it does.
but yeah, there's an energy here.
There totally
know?
is. Yeah.
I think I've been thinking about it for 365 days. I couldn't wait to
Nice.
get back. You know?
Yeah. Now, there's some sacred energy here. The land is sacred, too. It's really healthy.
Yes.
There's a lot of good, fertile soil here. And the environment's great, you know. Like it gets humid here, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
ecosystem here is insane
Yeah.
in southern Ohio, you know.
I
Lots
know,
of
it's so
animals
beautiful.
and insects and, you know, and we just coexist.
Yep.
You know, we're just coexisting here. So,
See, I'm from Northwest Ohio, so
Oh,
it's
right.
flat fields up
flat
there.
fields.
Glaciated
Yep.
Ohio.
Right, right.
And it's so different being right here. Just a 3-hour drive. It's
Right.
so, it's like a different world. I
Yeah.
love it. It feels
Yeah,
like
it's
I'm way
nice.
far away from home than I really am.
Right. Probably like a world of difference.
Yeah.
You know?
And
That's cool.
it's just, I don't know. There's something so special about this place. Like I can't even put words to it. Honestly.
Yeah. Well,
Just-
I think the people are the most beautiful
Yes.
thing because it's like a painting, like a Dali painting, right? It's like a Dali painting where
Yeah.
there's just so many different colors and it's just all blending together and each person brings their own experience to the table and their own mind and emotions to this place, right? And it builds a beautiful experience for all of us all around, you know. It's just really great. And every once in a while you get some rough stuff that happens,
Oh,
maybe a
yeah.
fight just like any other
Yep.
festival. But it's cool cuz usually people step up and they've kind of decentralized the authority to the point
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, we can take care of this. We don't always have to run to Bruce or Brandon, you know?
Yeah.
And if they do run to us, it's usually like a more severe incident where like, oh, yeah, we have to have
It's like, this
yeah.
is bad.
Yeah. But most times, like if something goes on, people are on top of it. They take
Yeah,
care
I've
of each
noticed
other.
that.
Yeah.
And does that have anything to do with the CIA? Because I know
the real
you got
CIA?
agents out there.
Yeah, we got some agents, you know? We're the secret CIA.
I think the CIA's behind
I'll
it.
tell you a story about the CIA.
Yeah.
So in the phone book, when we first moved here, it was 96, but it was probably around 97 as far as my memory goes, but we had the name for the number in the phone book as the CIA.
Oh, shit.
So we used to get calls from people and they would be calling and leaving messages about extraterrestrials and men in black following them, like people who are just methed out of their mind, or just tweaking, right? Paranoid schizophrenics, and maybe a couple were actually having an encounter, but they really thought we were the CIA, So they left us messages, and then we started pranking them when people called and acting like the secret, CIA. So it was kind of cool.
Man, do you remember doing prank calls as a kid? Did you ever do those?
Yeah, I did prank
Dude,
calls.
I used to love doing prank calls.
Yeah, it's so fun.
I used to call the local Speedway, and there's this guy that used to work there. Looked like a garden gnome. His name was Randy.
Randy.
He was real short, looked like a garden gnome. Had
right.
Beard, long hair. And me and my friends were just, we're bored, 15, whatever. It was like, hey, let's call the Speedway. So I called Speedway, and I was like, yeah, I'm a trucker coming in on the interstate, and I'm looking for some Butterfingers. I just want to know if you have any. He's like, oh, yeah, we got plenty of them. I was like, do you think you have more than 10? He's like, oh, yeah, we definitely got more than 10. I was like, what about more than 20? And at this point, he's like, okay, what the hell's going on?
Right.
He's like, oh, I don't know. I have to look. He comes back, and he's like, yeah, we got a couple boxes. We got enough for you. I was like, do you know exactly how many you have?
Oh, my God.
And this poor guy, he counted every Butterfinger.
He
He's
counted
like, we got
them
23.
All? We got 23. Wow.
Thank you. I'm coming right in. I got to hit the road. I can't stop long.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
Just stupid shit, getting free food from Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's fun. I always tell people, one of my, you could say, philosophies, I would say, is to have the child spirit.
Yes.
I call it the child spirit. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the tarot. Are you familiar at all?
Tarot cards?
Tarot cards, right?
I've had my tarot cards read a couple times.
I
still
so
don't
that's
completely
divinations.
understand.
Yeah. So tarot cards are really interesting. You might not be familiar, but are you familiar with Carl Jung?
Yeah, the philosopher?
Philosopher and psychologist.
Yeah, psychology.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. So he says that they're in the subconscious or the unconscious realm, there's an archetypal language of symbolism which has these models, which are timeless characters that we pull from, like the hero or the wizard. Like there's certain ones, right? The adversary, like Set or Satan, you know, and we pull from all these. The hero is the most, prevalent, right? And the tarot card is literally just like a little book. You can use it to try to read into people's futures and stuff like that. But the way I look at it, it's a book of understanding yourself better rather than trying to predict the future about things. So understanding your own emotions, your psychology, your inner world, you can use it both ways, but that's how I use it.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah,
it's it would be good.
The reason why I brought it up is because the first card, which is the 0 card, is the Fool card, and it represents the child spirit.
Yeah.
And it's usually like a flamboyant character carrying a bag, like going on a journey away from the tribe. And that's right. That's right. You got it. And so that represents the initiation into the world, taking the first step, right?
Yeah.
Taking the leap of faith, And then the last card usually is the magician card. And he has the as above, so below hand signs going on with the wand, and he has all the symbolic 5 elements, the pentacles and the staff and the sword and all this stuff, right? It's the master. So that's the adult, so you have the child spirit and the adult. And so my whole idea is that you climb the mountain as much as you can, and then when you get to your spot, your pinnacle, you have to come back down eventually. And coming back down is re-engaging into your child spirit, and invoking that with what you've learned. Yeah. Right?
I feel like there's a little bit of both of that in me. Like,
well, you better have it.
A lot of like my sense of humor is definitely childlike. I like doing childy things. Like I've been having fun here. I haven't drank or anything. I've just been having a good time, throwing firecrackers.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
It's not all about partying.
I know.
Yeah.
See, I think that's a misconception people might have. It's like, oh, if you want to have fun, you gotta poison yourself with liquor or something.
Yeah, no, you don't have to.
Man,
no. That's
I've
a cultural thing.
been having a great time.
Yeah.
But it's that childlike spirit,
Yeah.
And I feel like
Keeps
that's
you
pretty
alive.
strong in me.
Yeah, that's
what
good.
About you? Is it strong in you still?
Of course.
Hell yeah.
I have fun doing all kinds of stuff.
I know. Before I forget, there's something that I remember watching a video. You're doing like a Facebook Live or something. You're talking about private property and children. And you had like
Oh.
this awesome take on like how you should approach, taking things from your kids or
Oh,
not
yeah,
taking
yeah.
things.
Yeah,
I thought that
it's-
was the coolest fucking thing I've ever heard. So
Yeah, yeah.
if you don't mind sharing that again.
Yeah, I
feel
will
like
share that. It's
this is
actually
awesome.
pretty cool. It has a little backstory too.
Okay.
So with my dad, he was never a physical punishment person, right? I never got whooped. I never got beat.
'Cause, on the outside looking in, you'd be like, oh man, he probably whoops his kid's ass.
Yeah,
or
yeah. A lot of
something.
people would think that.
But
That's
yeah,
right, but never.
that's
Not
awesome.
once. He never touched me.
Wow.
So his way was psychological and emotional, right? So what he would do is I would have like all my toys, right?
Mhm.
And so, and it sounds like horrible to some people, but it's way less horrible than like getting your ass beat
Yeah.
with something, right? With a belt or whatever, with a fucking rod, who
Yeah.
knows, you right?
A paddle.
So, yeah. So he would make me, whenever I did something, right? The first thing is he would intellectually explain like why I shouldn't have done that, sit me down and do this stuff, right? Eventually, if I kept repeating the behavior, he would say, okay, I've warned you. Now you have to take your favorite toy out and smash it with a hammer, okay? So I'd have to go out and smash my favorite toys, And then I feel like, oh, I've lost my liberty.
Yeah.
I've lost something that makes me happy because I've done something wrong, right?
And consequence.
Right,
yeah.
right. So the physical, like rearing, right?
Yeah.
That reinforces negative ideas. This kind of reinforces a positive idea without needing to like physically assault your
Yes.
kid, right?
Yeah.
So the idea that I spawned from that, right, was we give things to our kids, and then they have this idea that it's theirs, and they are trying to protect their thing, right, their resource, the thing that makes them happy, that they enjoy their life with. But we give it to them as if it's completely theirs,
Yeah.
right? And they have complete ownership over that thing. And then whenever we punish them, we take it away from them, right? So psychologically, it instills this idea that it's okay to take things that's 100% yours, right? To punish you with things like the government does, right?
Yeah.
So you've completely rightfully owned this thing. Somebody gave it to you. It's your property, and then they just come in and take it from you, right? So instead of that, I came up with this idea. And some people have tried it now, and they really love it.
That's awesome.
And I've
That's
read
good
a lot
to
of
hear.
studies on it too. That let's say like a game system. It's a great example, right? If you give the kid the game system, then it's theirs, and if you punish them by taking it away, then you're stealing from them.
Yeah.
So you don't want to instill that. So the idea is tell them that they are borrowing it. It's actually yours, right? It's your game system, but you're letting them use it. They have a privilege to use it. And if they do good, you'll continue to let them use it, right? So what it takes away from the equation is the reinforcement that theft is okay.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, right? That it's okay to steal something that's 100% yours. That's what it takes out. And it takes out a little bit of the resentment. Of course, you're still probably
You're
be
bummed,
mad,
yeah.
You'll be bummed, but it at least psychologically plants that seed that it gives like a respect for somebody else's property,
Yeah.
right? Whoever it might be, your friends, your parents, other people, and then it also gives you, and then eventually you can be like, okay, once I see that you've done this, like, you're really good, and you're growing and you're learning, you're expanding, and I have no issues with you, maybe you can have this.
And
You
never
can
be
work
taken
towards
from
it.
you.
Yeah, and it's yours completely.
Yeah.
I can never do anything about it.
I feel like that's like